morning, everybody. How are you doing today? I'm excited to be with you today because today, guess what? We are making an alarm system on Scratch. Um, I've had a few conversations with kids sometimes that feel like they are not super awesome at coding, and to them, I say, neither am I, for sure. It is a very difficult thing to learn how to do. But really, what it is problem solving. So I find that if you have a really clear idea of what it is that you want to make, before you sit down and you start trying to make it, it makes it a whole lot easier. Because if you try and kind of figure it out as you go and you're looking at all those different commands and you're not sure why things aren't working, and it can be very frustrating. So what I wanted to do today was to start out by talking about what it is that we want out of this alarm system so that we can keep referring back to it as we go along and make sure that we're doing what it is we want to do. So here's what I want to make. I want to make an alarm that goes off when the video camera detects motion. I figure a lot of us are staying at home. Maybe we've got a pesky older brother or older sister or younger brother or younger sister, and you just want some warning. You want to know when they're coming down the hallway towards your room, so you can prepare your defenses or whatever. Or maybe you want to leave it in the fridge in case you got something special that you want to keep for yourself and you want to know somebody's trying to get at your treats. Whatever it is, we want to make a camera alarm system. So next, what we want to think is, what should it do? Because let's be very, very clear about this, right? What should our alarm system do? So what I'm thinking is, when the camera sees something, it should change the screen to red and should just start an audible alarm. So an audible just means you can hear it. It should be kind of loud, obnoxious. Like the fire alarm when it goes off in school, you know that the fire alarm's going off, right? So an alarm system should be loud, and you should know that it's going off. And when it's not seeing something, obviously, it should stop going off. You don't want it to be annoying, and you don't want to make everybody mad in your house. You just want a little, alarm. So it should go back to a kind of like a calm screen whenever it's not doing something, and it should stop the alarm. So the next thing I'm thinking, because I know a little bit about Scratch, is how can we do this on Scratch? Now that we know what we want and what it should do if it works right, what are we going to use on Scratch? So we know if we want a calm background and a warning background, that means we're going to have two backgrounds. We're going to have two sprites. I want to have a message pop up on the screen that says something like all clear or everything's fine, and then like intruder alert. An intruder, in case you don't know what that word means, an intruder is just someone that shouldn't be there, right? Somebody's intruding into your space. We're also going to need a recording for the alarm, unless Scratch happens to have like an alarm on it, which I don't think it does, but we can just record anything we want. So maybe we'll just do something like intruder alert, or something like that. And since we're going to use the video camera on the Chromebook, we know we're going to need the video sensing extension. So we can come back to this, but this should be a pretty good list of everything we need to do, or everything we need to make what we need. So let's check out Scratch. Go ahead and create something new. Of course, make sure you're signed in. I'm already signed in because I'm teaching this lesson, but you want to save your project. Just like before, if you haven't been able to share things with me yet, make sure you go into your email and verify your email from Scratch that you are a real person. So we'll get rid of Scratch because we don't need him. Let's do our backdrops first. So what we're going to do first is we're going to paint our background. So you see here we have backdrop 1 and backdrop 2. We do want both of these. So for the first one, let's do our calm one first. We'll say backdrop 1 is the calm one. So you could make this like, a picture of flowers or some sort of beautiful meadow scene if you want. And I'm going to ask you to do your own too anyway, so you can do whatever you want. But I'm just going to make mine like a nice calming blue color. So I'm changing the color to blue, and I'm just going to draw a box. Just like that. Now see how on the right over here there's a little bit of a black line? I'm just going to kind of scoot. There we go. See, I scooted my box a little bit. Now it's like right in the middle. The whole screen is blue. So backdrop 1 now is our calm blue one. So blue is calm. And let's take our other backdrop then and make it like a bright, like alarm red, you know. So we still have our box here. We'll scoot a little bit out of the way. There we go. Now it's all red. So we got calm backdrop 1, scary backdrop 2, and our backdrops are good, right? That was 2 backgrounds, 1 calm, 1 warning. So that's done now, all right? So now we want to look at our sprites. We don't really need characters. We just want text. So we're going to paint our sprites too. So let's see. For our first one here, we'll say costume 1. Let's make costume 1 calm. And I'm just going to do white text on both these, I think. Or you know what? If it's blue, we'll do like a dark blue. We'll do dark blue and light blue. That'll be good. So let's see. We'll see. Everything's fine. Yay. Everything's fine. Now that's a little too small. Let's make it a little bigger. We'll just drag the corner here and make sure it's kind of centered. I'm looking at the screen on the right, and that looks good. I do kind of want this fine to be over a little bit. Let's see if that works. There we go. I like that better. That looks better. No, one back. There we go. Yeah, everything's fine. You'll notice, though, that the sprite is currently on the second backdrop. Obviously, we don't want everything's fine to be on the scary red backdrop, but that's okay. We'll change that in a sec. So, sprite number 1, all good. Actually, you know what we should do? We should just change the costume. Instead of adding a whole separate sprite, we can just make another costume. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to paint another costume. And this one is where we're going to say intruder alert. We'll do a few more spaces too. Again, one more time here. We'll make this bigger. And I kind of feel like we should change the color of the text too. Is there something that would be a better color? It's going to be red. Let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that's vibrant. I like that. We're definitely going to know there's an intruder this way. Okay, so we have 2 costumes now, which is a little different than 2 sprites. So if everything's fine, and intruder alert. So costume 1 is everything's fine. Costume 2 is intruder alert, which is slightly different than our 2 sprites. I guess we just need 1 sprite for this. We have 2 costumes. So we'll say 1 sprite, 2 costumes. Can't spell costumes. I still can't spell costumes. Oh my gosh. 1 sprite, 2 costumes. Ah, now my scratch logo's out of the way. All right. So now we have our costumes. We have our backdrops, and now we can actually start doing some coding now. So for our sprite here, we do want to start on backdrop 1. Whatever. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. All right, so let's first start with, we want everything to start when our flag is clicked. So when the flag is clicked, we want costume 1 to show, right? Because that means everything's fine. So we'll say, switch to costume 1. That means everything's going to be fine. And we want backdrop 1 to show. Boom. Now it's calm. Okay, so by default, everything starts with costume 1 and backdrop 1. Everything's fine as soon as we start here. Okay, but what we want is for a whole bunch of stuff to happen whenever the camera sees somebody moving. So if you'll notice, again, we don't have anything over here on the left side. We don't have our video sensing. So we've got to click on that block, and we've got to go down to video sensing. Here we are. So what I'm going to do, because I don't need the camera on right now, is I'm just going to hit turn camera off. And we'll just go pink. And we'll just leave that there for a second. I just did that to not be annoyed and have my messed up hair on the camera. All right, so we'll change that back in a moment. When the video motion goes on, or when the video motion exceeds 10, you know, I think on the Bird Smash game, I want to say it was like 25 or 50 or something like that. You can make this as sensitive or as unsensitive as you want. You'll just sort of have to play around with it. I'm just going to leave it at 10 for right now because it doesn't really matter that much. Okay, so this is pretty much what we need to start here. We can start building this. So when we sense motion, what we want to do is we want to go to our looks. We want to switch to costume 2, and we want to switch to backdrop 2. Okay, switch to costume 2, switch to backdrop 2. Now, actually, I'm going to go back here 1 second. Now, one thing that you can do, see where it says set video transparency here? Since we have these colored backdrops, what we're actually going to do, and you can change this if you want, but I want a solid colored background. I don't want to see the video camera up here. So I'm just going to take this and set, like, this will set all these things at the beginning. And I'm just going to set the video transparency to 100, okay? And now that I've got this up here, I'm going to set this up here too. We're going to turn the video on. But now see how it says video transparency to 100? That means we're not going to see any picture over here. It's just going to be the colored backdrops, which is what we want. If you want to do something different, you can. Okay, so right now you'll see, because the camera is on currently, and I don't know how to turn it off, it's switched to costume 2. So it's sensing right now. And I'm going to wait to do the recording too, because you can see how every time it's sensing here, it's flashing a little yellow, and that's okay. All right, so next thing we want to do, since we switched to costume 2 and we switched to backdrop 2, is we want to put in a little weight, right? So that we can give the people or whoever is in the room a little chance to disappear. So we're going to have it wait 5 seconds. And between here and just a moment, I'm going to have the recording play. And then what we'll do is after that, we're just going to say switch back to costume 1 and switch back to background 1 after we wait 5 seconds. So that way it all returns back to normal as soon as that motion goes away. But we really just have one more thing to do here before we test and see if our alarm works. All right, so the last thing we want to do is we want to record a sound. We're going to say start sound. Now right now it says pop, and I bet it's going to just pop a whole bunch. Let's see. Oh, it's still in the waiting process. It's going to wait here to pop in just a second. Oh no, my microphone's muted, just kidding. All right, so we're going to record a sound. And I'm going to do an annoying thing. I'm going to go intruder alert a few times, and I'll show you something kind of cool. Here we go. Intruder alert. Intruder alert. Intruder alert. Intruder alert. There we go. That should be pretty good. Now, if you haven't seen it already, these little things will cut off the other sounds that you want. So, like, if you just want one of these, you can smush these around to wherever you want. But I want all 4 of those. I'm going to get rid of this little beginning part here. That's what I want. So we're going to hit save. Perfect. We don't need pop, so we're just going to trash it. And so now we'll change our start sound to recording 1. And this is pretty much our whole program here. So what I'm going to do is move out of the camera. I'm going to hit the flag so it starts. I'm going to turn on my microphone, or excuse me, turn on my speakers. And in about 3 seconds, I'm going to wave my hand in front of the camera, and let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Intruder alert! Intruder alert! Intruder alert! Intruder alert! And now we're back. It waited 5 seconds, and let's move it one more time. Whoa! Intruder alert! Oh yeah! Intruder alert! Intruder alert! Intruder alert! All right, so I'm going to turn the speakers off so I can sit back down now. So boys and girls, there it goes again. Your project is, since mine's so simple here, you can either make your own, you could have animals fly across the screen, use anything that we've done before. You could have drums play, guitars play, make some sort of sound. You can say everything's fine, or you can say intruder alert, or you could say get out of here, sister. Whatever you want to do, make it yours. I want you to share your project with me, and I'll make this project available for you. Don't forget to give it a name up here. I'm going to call this, let's call it Sister Alarm. Or let's call it Sibling Alarm, really. Sibling Alarm. All right, and we're going to hit share. And don't forget, after you share something here, it's going to save it. And then you should be able to click share. It says this project is not shared, it's only you can see it. Click share to let everyone see it. This is only going to pop up. Oops, excuse me. copy link down here is only going to pop up if you have verified your account. So what I want you to do is take this, copy the link, and then post it to me on Seesaw so I can check out your project. Good luck, guys. Oh, and are you seeing here that it's still running? There it goes. All right. Good luck, boys and girls. I'm excited to see what you make.